Hi there, and welcome to today's episode of How the Game Was Won. Today we're looking at round 5 of the FIDE World Cup 2015 being played in Baku. With the white pieces we have Wei, and with the black pieces we have Svidler. And what's important to note is that this game was played in the blitz portion of the tiebreak to round 5. So if I'm not looking overly deeply at positional themes, that's simply because this was a blitz game and for the biggest part pure tactics were involved. And what's more, with the type of time control with 10 minutes aside plus 10 seconds, you're literally going to be looking at, especially in this instance, I'm going to be skipping all the way ahead to the end game, because even though it was a slightly unusual opening being played, I'm skipping all the way to the position after move 52 for white. The white played let me take it to the 51st move for black, after black has just played rook to a8. In this position, for instance, white could continue with something along the lines of bishop c2, rook a2, rook f2, rook takes c2, rook takes c2, king d5, bishop f2, b4, rook c1, which looks fairly risky, but it should be holdable. It's a position that white should be able to hold. Bearing in mind that what we've got sitting here in this in-game position is black's clear two connected passed pawns that white will need to deal with. But the game continued instead with white playing bishop b4, and now which allows black to bring his knight into the awesome attacking outpost of e4, which now means that the two knights positioned as they are in the center of the board are now doing an excellent job of controlling the squares that the pair of bishops could potentially be wanting to be getting to. And the game continued with rook e1, king d5, and with this move, black continues to be making steady progress and applying steady pressure. Rook d1 check, king e5, rook e1, king d4, rook d1 check, king e3, rook c1. Now here black has made real progress. His B and C passed pawns are nicely connected, protecting each other. His rook is nicely positioned on the open file, and that just means that Svidler is now ready to absolutely go in for the kill as far as this game is concerned. He plays c5, rook e1 check, king d4, rook d1 check, king e5. Now bishop takes c4, b takes c4, bishop e1, rook a3, king f1, rook a2, rook c1, king d4, rook d1 check, king e3, rook c1, king d3, rook d1 check, and knight d2 check. And black is simply way too active in this position. The pawns will continue to roll forward towards the queening square, and somewhere along the line white is going to need to give up at least a piece to be able to prevent the pawns from queening, in which case black will be able to utilize the extra piece to mop up white's pawns and just simply wrap up the game. So here white continues bishop d2, bishop takes in d2, the rook takes in d2, the king comes to e1, and now black plays c3. Now bearing in mind that in this situation that black at the moment has the following threats at his disposal. He can play, for instance, king e3, followed by rook h2, rook taking on h2, and there's absolutely nothing that white can do to prevent that from happening. And once the h-pawn is fallen, it'll just be a matter of time, for instance, before the g-pawn falls as well, and black can march the g-pawn up the board too. Just as a for instance sake, in this position, white could also play, for instance, rook d1 check, followed by king takes on d1, and then play king e3, which is then actually also winning for black. Because say for instance, if the white king had to, for instance, come up into c2, for instance, then all that would happen is the black king would move down into f2, and then follow that up by mopping up the white pawns, which black will be able to do by the time white is able to mop up the black pawns along the c-file. Both white pawns will be mopped up, the king will be in front of the g-pawn, the g-pawn marches through to the queening square, game over. So that is effectively how the game was won. In this position, white resigned, and thereby effectively resigned the match. Svidler is through to the semi-finals of the FIDE World Cup being played in Baku. And just a reminder, this game was played on the 29th of September 2015. Please share this video out amongst your chess friends. Remember to give it a thumbs up if you like this type of content, thumbs down if not, that way I know what we're putting out in the future. And last but by no means least, if you're watching this video within YouTube itself, please remember to go down just below the screen is a big red subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button and stay subscribed to my channel for all of the new content that comes out on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. Stay tuned for the next episode of How the Game Was Won. Until that time, stay safe and stay carved up for the win.